Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Terence Crawford had an interview, and he talked about the Canelo fight, of course. And where would that fight leave him amongst the greatest fighters of all time? It's your boy, Mr. 926, a.k.a. Bushido the Dragon, a.k.a. the Black Mage, a.k.a. do this all day, the two-time demontage champion of the world.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up.
Check it out, man. Terence Crawford had an interview with Akin Barak. I'll leave a video link in the description for the full interview. But Terence Bud Crawford had an interview. It was a good interview. Spoke about the Canelo fight. Well, would that fight rank him amongst the greatest if he was to get the job done, right? And now beating Canelo Alvarez, he'll become a 3-time undisputed. But before we even talk about that, they asked him about the Mijamal fight, right? This is something that everybody's been talking about. Something that, you know, well, you only as good as your last fight. You know, this is the last time we seen Bud Crawford was against Israel Mijamal. I told you guys I felt that wasn't his best performance, but it was a very solid performance. Mijamal wasn't a fighter that was really committing in the fight, right? He was very patient. He was really herky-jerky. And really, he seemed to have a lot more in his fight against Crawford than he did against Virgil. Check out what Bud had to say.
You moved up to 154 and you didn't have the success that you had in all these times. So they're thinking it's because of the weight, when I'm saying it's the style. Majimov wasn't trying to commit as much, and you hurt him, he never hurt you.
Right.
So how do you feel about everybody saying that?
Well, I laugh. I won the fight. They making it.
He ain't gonna get mad at Eddie.
Listen. That fight wasn't close at all.
I didn't think so either.
I gave Majimov 3-4 rounds max.
I was calling a fight, so I wasn't counting the rounds.
3 to 4 rounds max. You know, and I was comfortable in there. Like, I didn't have a worry in the world.
Did he ever hurt you at any time?
Never.
Well, was he hard to time at times?
He caught you
One
flush.
thing that you're really good at is throwing in between the shot, timing people, right? Before they throw, when they're about to throw. Was he a little tricky to time?
Yeah, at times. At times, because he really wasn't trying to commit.
Right.
He really wasn't trying to really throw anything. He was trying to counter me, so it was kind of like he wanted to make it a chess match.
Right.
Make it seem like he coming in, but he wanted to counter.
Now, to hear what he had to say, he said Mijamal didn't hurt him at all. Mijamal probably only won 3 or 4 rounds, right? He said that Mijamal in the Virgil fight was sick or something like that. His conditioning wasn't up to par, and he just wasn't able to really put out. Even though you seen Virgil's face after the fight, you know, right? So take it for what you want. We going into this Canelo fight, right? Because this is what matters now. And we seen Canelo's last fight against William Skull. Wasn't his best performance by any means, right? They asked Terence Crawford, where would you be ranked amongst the greatest if you used to beat Canelo?
I know it's not camp, but are you in like a pre-camp right now for Canelo?
Not yet.
Not yet? So what do you do? But are you
I'm
training?
still training. I'm always training.
I know, that's right.
I'm always training.
Are you lifting more weights now?
Not at all.
So is it safe to say in the Canelo fight, you won't be weighing 168? You're going to come under because you're not used to fight, or will you be 168?
I don't know. We got to see. You shall see. Canelo is Canelo.
Right. Virgil Ortiz said to us, if Bud, he says, I can't see Bud moving up to 168 and beating Canelo. I think he can, but if I had to pick one, but he said if Bud beats Canelo, I have him as the greatest fighter of all time. Now, would you put yourself in that category once that fight is over and you're the winner?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about all time.
All
like
time.
Ali, Floyd, I'm talking about all time.
When you talk about all these other fighters who would have done or accomplished anything close to it.
No, I agree.
No, I'm asking you.
No, none of them.
All right then, so why would they all be?
No, but you know how some people won't, they'll say.
Some people
Sugar
like-
Ray Robinson accomplished a lot.
Yeah, he did.
I like your career.
When you say Sugar Ray Robinson, he never went up 3 weight classes and fought the undisputed
The top guy. Yeah.
champion.
Right.
You know, and a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best Mexican fighters that come out of Mexico.
Of all time, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a difference when you talk about moving up in weight and who you fighting. You know, and yeah, like you can kind of say that I went up 3 weight classes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the joy in it.
54,
Like,
60, 68.
Everybody, you know, is wondering how I'm gonna do at 60.
Now, to hear what he had to say, he said he'll be the greatest of all time. He brought up Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray never did this. He never did that. Now, back in Sugar Ray's days, right? And I got Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter, period, right? Period. Now, that means kickboxing, all that, period, right? That's where I got Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray was 174 wins, 19 losses, 6 draws, with 109 wins by knockout. One of the pound-for-pound kings, the original pound-for-pound kings, one of the absolute greatest fighters of all time. He moved up to, I believe it was light heavyweight, right? When he fought the guy outside. I forgot the guy's name. He was fighting outside. You know what I'm talking about. He fought the dude outside. He lost the fight due to heat exhaustion. He was fighting outside. It was really hot that day. He was whooping on this guy, bigger guy, whooping on him the whole time. But then he just kind of got fatigued. They was fighting outside the heat. He couldn't get up from the stool, right? But Bud Crawford, which is something similar, right, from Sugar Ray originally being a welterweight. Now, we never seen Sugar Ray's run as a welterweight. No footage of it. But we heard it was spectacular, right? He was undefeated as a welterweight. Similar to Crawford, he's undefeated as a welterweight. Moved up to light heavyweight. That's essentially the same thing, right? From Sugar Ray being a middleweight, right? Let's say we go off his middleweight run. All the way up to light heavyweight, that's about 3 weight classes, right? So it'll be the same thing for Crawford from a welterweight moving up to 168 or 54 to 68. Pretty much the same thing. But if Crawford gets the job done against Canelo Alvarez, arguably one of the greatest fighters of this generation and one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time, I think he'll have a really good, strong argument. Now, I got to wait before I do that because I got Sugar Ray up there, right? But Bud Crawford seems very confident that he will take that #1 spot. He's confident that he'll take that #1 headband. He's actually super confident that he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And they also asked him, who's better, you or Floyd Mayweather?
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta
Can I
Davis.
beat your ass?
Okay, that's a no. That's a no. Floyd's not
All right,
better than
then.
you.
Could Floyd beat you? And you heard what he had to say. He don't even think Floyd Mayweather could beat him. And of course, he talked about other things in the interview. You guys go have to check it out. Really, really good interview from Akin Barak. But Bud Crawford, man, better than Sugar Ray Robinson, the original pound-for-pound king. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Terence Crawford is on his way. Terence Bud Crawford is definitely on his way. If he's to beat Canelo Alvarez, you got to give it to him. Even the guys that may not favor Terence Crawford, you got to give it to him. If he goes up and beats Canelo Alvarez and take his belts, becomes 3-time undisputed champion, you got to give it to him. But will he be greater than Sugar Ray? This will be something that nobody in boxing has ever done. Now, back then, they didn't have all these belts like they got today either, right? There's a lot of different things that changed over the years. So you'll have to kind of, balance it out a little bit better. The fighters fought a lot more back in the day versus today, right? You won't see anybody with 100-something wins today in a box, especially at the top level. You just won't see it. So there's a lot of different things that changed over the years to where the sports changed to where now we're going to have to compare things a little differently. But I'll say this for now, to be safe, he'll be in the top 5. But it all really determines, I think the end goal, if he was to be considered the greatest, most people probably would just give it to him, right? Just becoming 3-time undisputed, beating Canelo Alvarez, that's a huge feat. But he said he's greater than Floyd Mayweather, right? He said he don't think Floyd can beat him. This is a guy with confidence that nobody can beat me. So Canelo Alvarez, this is something that he's going to have to deal with. You're going to have to break Terence Crawford's will to beat him. Could Canelo Alvarez break his will? I don't know. But yet and still, will Bud Crawford be the greatest boxer of all time, the greatest fighter of all time if he was to move up and beat Canelo Alvarez? Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.